And now, back to Personal Best Radio, the hour dedicated to entrepreneurial thinking individuals who strive to be their personal best.
Hello, Personal Best listeners. This is John Traxellis. We are excited to bring you our fifth installment on innovators. Today, we're going to explore how to ignite the creative genius within your company so as to lead the company and the people within to your next innovation and beyond. Our guest today is Diana Martinez of Spark Creative Consulting, who will share with us her unique approach of helping companies collaborate and innovate. Welcome to the show, Diana.
Thank you.
Diana, before I ask you to describe your background, tell us the meaning of your company name, Spark Creative Consulting.
Well, to me, let's face it, we're all chasing for that spark of genius, right? That moment that transforms your business into that great idea that makes you and everyone in your organization excited and, more importantly, delivers a positive impact to your bottom line, right? So what I thought of was SPARK is an acronym, actually, that I use when I teach a workshop to kind of help leaders to find that idea, that next great idea, and how to collaborate better.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, very good. Diana, I've heard you use the word inspiration quite a bit. Tell us about your business background.
Well, my business background is entertainment. I was the president of Second City most recently, and prior to that, I was the executive director for the Paramount Theater in Aurora, where I negotiated contracts and I presented about 350 Broadway national tours, concerts, comedians. And then prior to that, I directed theater, live Broadway musicals. And I did about 50 musicals, and I did that at Pheasant Run Theater in St. Charles. And now I'm consulting, and I'm speaking to help bring creative ideas and results to the corporate world.
Mm-hmm. Did you notice anything specific about the corporate world that was the foundation for your consulting practice?
I did. I think that the corporate world's a little bit different than the entertainment world in that the entertainment world, you have to consistently innovate on a constant basis in order to remain relevant. And so you have to have that aha moment, like, let's do this show, or how about this concept? And in business, I think those ideas come, but not quite as often. And I was trying to offer a way for businesses to move in that direction and have more consistent creativity and collaboration. And so I work with companies to teach them that, to teach them how to come to that aha moment, how to collaborate better, what makes a good collaborator.
Mm-hmm. Well, it sounds like you view collaboration as an essential element of innovation. What do you do for companies to help them work better as a team and to collaborate?
First, I'll teach them why collaboration is necessary. And I also teach how it works. And I teach how it's in the DNA of any good producer or a director. It's kind of the foundation of how they were trained, actually. Any good producer usually was a director. Any good director usually was an actor. So they have the same foundational understanding of how collaboration works and how to work together. And I've spent the last 2 years actually really studying that process and breaking it down into a code for creativity and innovation. And I've seen it work countless times. So what I'll do is I'll take the team behind the curtain and kind of share some of the secrets and the sauce that teaches them to engage members of their organization and teach them how to create a culture of creativity and collaboration, how to effectively collaborate and brainstorm. Inadvertently, it teaches you how to think a little faster on your feet because you have to be able to think in the moment. Mm-hmm. I work on building confidence in communication and also inspiring employees to take the reins of creative ideas and inspiring leaders to create that environment for them so that they have the opportunity to express their ideas. And I also talk about co-creating inside the organization as well as outside with vendors and consumers.
Mm-hmm. You didn't use the word engagement, Diana, but basically it sounds like you try and create a strong environment for engagement of the employees.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
Exactly right. A lot of people just put their head down, come to work, and do their job because they haven't been invited or asked to participate.
Mm-hmm. So you view people as an asset within the company?
Completely.
Completely. Okay, good. Diana, what have you found to be the greatest obstacle to people collaborating in companies?
The biggest number one reason is they haven't been asked. A lot of times people have great ideas, but they feel like it's not my job, it's not my place, no one asked me. And the number two reason is fear. People are afraid that they'll step on toes or they'll be out of line or considered out of line for putting something out there. They're afraid to step on their boss's toes. So the number one thing that an owner or a president or a manager can do is to relax the environment and invite engagement, invite discussion, invite conversation, and pose a question. And not a question that's personal, but a question that's pointed on a subject. Because everybody has a good idea. They just need to be asked and invited to participate and engage. And the good news is you might not come up with the right answer or the final answer that the group has consensus on, but what you will do is you'll spark an idea in someone else, and then you continue to build off that idea as a group. And that's when the magic happens.
Now, this item of fear that employees have about advancing ideas or raising their head up in the group, you specifically address that in the consulting work you do?
I do. I talk about inviting people to participate. I talk about thinking about a dream team. Like if you had your dream team, what would that dream team look like? And I talk about having diversity in that collaborative team, which is so important, because if it's just your perspective and the executive team's perspective, you kind of probably most likely will get the same results you've always had. So if you're talking about, let's say, what are we going to do for our website to make it more friendly? Bring in the young people. Bring in the young people in the organization who are using the latest technology and know what's going on and use it on a consistent basis. Bring in somebody who's been with the company for a long time. Bring in a consumer and create diversity of perspective. And that's where you're going to get some of the best ideas, I think.
Yeah, I think most people think of diversity in companies as maybe racial or ethnic background
Absolutely.
or gender, but you're also talking about thought.
I am. I'm talking about front of the house people, the first person who has contact with the customer, who really knows what the customer is thinking and wanting and asking for. And then I'm talking about the guy who's got to produce the products that you make or service the customers, because they have a whole different perspective on what's needed. And I just did a workshop recently, and it was with warehouse guys to the engineers of a manufacturing company. And one of the warehouse guys said, if we could see these designs earlier in the process than when they're completely finished, we could have so much input. Sometimes you guys will design a screw in a place that's so difficult that creates 3 times longer than it needs to get it put together. And if we could be a part of it, we could cut down the process. And the engineer said, I never thought you guys would be interested in that. And it was that aha moment that we need to work together. Let them be a part of it.
Certainly talk together, huh?
Yeah.
Well, I've got to ask you this question, Diana. What really drives you?
Well, I love the spark. I love that aha moment where you have that connection with people, and having the opportunity to talk to business leaders and CEOs and see the difference you can make in an organization just in a 3-hour workshop with their communication and their enthusiasm to engage and get more involved in the company and understand that they have a voice and how to express themselves in a positive way and not sound condescending or stepping on toes. It's really exciting, and that drives me, and the opportunity to help people grow really drives me.
So in a sense, you're kind of performing for them, and they're your audience, and you get to see them change right in front of your eyes.
I do.
That has to be very, very gratifying to you.
Very. When you see somebody who's shy in the beginning and they're like, I don't know if I want to do this, and by the end they're laughing and engaged and participating, it's really rewarding.
Do you largely deliver your services, Diana, through workshops?
I do workshops, yes, and I do keynotes.
Keynotes? Okay, good. And basically, you're probably only as good as your last gig. Is that right?
Isn't that the way? Always. It's one thing I haven't left behind in the entertainment business, right?
Yeah, that's true. And being able to get up in front of an audience and perform is something that people can't do very well.
Yeah, it's fun. It's a lot of fun. Especially my sessions are extremely interactive, because I believe that an employee or a person or a CEO is going to learn by experiencing more than me talking about creativity, because really, who wants to talk about it? But when you have that moment or you have that connection and you experience it, I think it resonates far deeper. And It really helps.
Last question. How can people reach you, Diana?
SparkCreativeConsulting.com is where they can reach me at.
Very good. Thank you very much, Diana.
Thank you for having me.
I'm John Traxellis. Thanks for listening on Innovators on Personal Best, and see you next week on the radio.